Good morning, Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. Good morning. I have a couple of announcements, reminders actually, before we begin. Just take a moment wherever you are and put away or turn off anything that might distract you and keep you from fully being here in this moment with us. We love and appreciate this time together. And if you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, you can click on the icon for closed captioning that will help you if you are having any trouble hearing our service. I believe it's at the bottom, and I've used that quite a lot before. It's very useful. And now it is my pleasure to welcome Susan Clark for our opening song. Susan, here you go.
So I'm going to do a very simple song. I hope you can join in singing. It's called One. We are one mind, one heart, one in love and light. And that's really, those are all the lyrics right there. So we are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. Okay. We are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. We are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. Let's do that again. We are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. We are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. Different melodies, same words. We are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. We are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. We are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. We are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. Oh, we are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. We are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. We are one mind, we are one heart, one in love and light. We are one mind, we are one heart, we are one heart, Thank you.
There we go. Thank you, Susan, so much. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. There's a few brave souls out in the cold this morning. Wow. All right. Well, thank you for being here at Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Gil Olmsted, and I get to be the host and the speaker today. Woohoo! Woo! Very exciting. So we're here because we come together and we stand in that space of our mission, our vision statement to transform the world through love in action. So as we get to hang out and think about today, as always, I just want to thank all the people that make it possible. We got people in the booth, people hiding out in the kitchen. We have people who have made sure that we actually prayed in. Those are the people that keep me on course. So anyway, we have a lot of folks that make this happen every week and appreciate them. And this morning we also have our lovely Marilyn O'Leary, who will be bringing us our vision and mission statement. And she will also be praying for us today. So she's got our backs. We've got people holding vigil. Kathy Mathiasen is at home holding us in that space, so we appreciate that. So with that, I would like to invite us to begin with prayer.
So please close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that and call Spirit in. That's what we do when we evoke. We call Spirit in to be here with us. Not that Spirit isn't always with us. We do it for ourselves so that we remember Spirit is here. And we know that where people are gathered in the name of Spirit, it's a special time and a special place. And so we know that, we experience that, and we know that this is a very blessed ceremony today. It's a sacred time. It's a time when we bring our desires, our love, we bring our wishes, we bring our prayers, we bring all of it here. We pray over it. We know it is happening. We affirm it. And we know that together we are strong, we are powerful. And so coming together to do that today, coming together to know our love for each other, holding each other in love, we are grateful. We are so fortunate to be here. And please say with me, and so it is.
So interesting. We come together in a sacred space, and I'm always interested in that thought because it's all sacred. And I believe it was a sacred time yesterday as they were wrapping me up at the prac party. The practitioners had a roll of paper, Christmas wrap, and myself and another practitioner got to be volunteered to be wrapped up. So, and then, it's just anytime we come together and we're able to share with one another, it's a sacred time. So I just wanted to honor that truth. And as we come together, we do like to highlight why we're here and what it's about. We base our beliefs on the science of mind, which is based on the wisdom of ancient times and current times. It's brought all of it together into what's called New Thought, which really means old stuff that we decided to talk about now. And basically that there's only one power in the universe, which has been recognized in different ways by many people for a very long time, that there's always a greater power in the universe. It's always there. And that we believe that we have power in our lives. So what we think about, what we look at, changes how our life turns out, changes how our experience of it turns out. So we're aware of that. And we know that everybody is acting from a space of love. Sometimes it comes out as a very loving expression, and sometimes it comes out as, please love me, I really need it. So it's always an act of love or a call for love. And ultimately, we know that you and me and each one of us is whole, perfect, and complete right where we are. We may not be expressing the completeness of our whole perfect and completionness, but we are complete. And so that's a truth we can go back to. And interesting enough, that has been held through eons, recognizing the perfection of us because we are from the stuff of spirit. So, having said that, we're grateful that we're here. Grateful that you're here. Grateful that we have the opportunity to be together. I'm really having trouble with Dr. Norm and his hat. Those of you at home are missing out on this because I've never seen him in a hat like that. And it looks very warm and cozy, but it took me about 5 minutes to figure out who the heck he was sitting there next to Barbara. All right, it's okay. So we want to welcome everybody here today. Pardon me. And we want to welcome those who are with us for the second or third time. Is anybody visiting with us today or coming back with us? See, I'm looking around the room and I am not seeing new people. Am I missing it? Okay. When I say I'm not seeing new people, I mean I'm not seeing people who haven't been here many times. And hi, Kimberly. It's good to see you. And hi, everybody out there that I can't see. I don't know who's here there. So welcome to everybody who's here, who may be joining us for the first or second or third time. Just make sure you let us know who you are. And we bless all of you, and we're grateful for each and every one of you. And with that, I'm going to invite Marilyn to come back. And she is going to lead us in our vision and mission statement.
Vision and mission statement. There it is. Our vision. Please read this with me. Transforming our world with the power of love and action. And our mission, loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest self. Love that. Thank you. And I do have a special reading today. It is from this book that I got, Jesse Jennings, More Than We Seem. This is a wonderful book. I love Jesse Jennings. He seems like, I don't know what he's like as a leader, but I think of him as CSL for Let's Get Real. You know, he's just real and deep at the same time. I love that. So this book is in questions and answers, and the question is, how can the ordinary person's spiritual practice contribute to global healing of ancient enmities based on political and religious separation? And I think this is true not just for ancient enmities, but things that go back a few years. This is his answer. Religious war, terrorism, oppression, and torture have taken place throughout human history. I recently did some research into the Crusades, for instance. At no point could I find anybody from king to knight to cleric standing up and saying, "This is wrong, we must stop this." The closest anybody came was to lament when people on the same side went to killing each other, though from a pragmatic rather than a moral point of view. As a matter of fact, one notable figure from the Albigensian Crusade in the Languedoc, when asked how to distinguish the heretics from the believers, since they were all townspeople, responded, "Kill them all, God will know his own." For countless centuries, sectarian violence was accepted as a way of life. What's different now is that questions such as yours are being asked and answers demanded. I believe absolutely that doing what we do, meditation and spiritual mind treatment, is making a difference. Ernest Holmes and every one of our leading voices since his time have taught unity, inclusivity, and compassion. Every religion is functional for somebody and is to be honored and respected. If we don't personally care for one, then practice another. Every political system is an attempt to create a useful framework for culture and commerce. If we don't agree with the system that's in place, then we ought to speak up and vote for another. Our faith system presents the idea that we're all one. If this is true, then when we meditate and pray along these lines, we are aligning ourselves with something that's inside every heart. Our slant on things, which admittedly has been called naive, is that no one really wants terror and violence. It's just that when other options don't seem to present themselves immediately, retaliation moves things along. When will new options be seen? When enough of us forego vengeance in our personal spaces, relying instead on the oneness we know is there, waiting to be born into form. And now we have a song from Susan.
I'm moving just a little slow this morning. Just a little slow. I was trying to decide which song to do, and I guess I'll just go for the gusto. I'm going to do an old Canned Heat song for us. I changed a few of the words to try to make it a little more socially acceptable in our day and age. Together we'll stand, divided we'll fall. Come on now, people, let's get on the ball and work together. Come on, let's work together. Oh, now, baby, oh, together we will stand. Every person, every color, every land. People, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, on the road you travel, it's all uphill. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Come on now, baby, because together we will stand. Every person, every color, every land. Oh, well, now 2 or 3 minutes, or 2 or 3 hours. What does it matter in this life of ours? Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Come on now, baby, cause together we will stand. Every person, every color, every land. Well, now make someone happy, make someone smile. Let's all work together and make life worthwhile. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Come on now, baby, because together we will stand. Every person, every color, every land. Come on, you people, walk hand in hand. Let's make this world of ours a good place to stand and work together. Come on, and work together. Come on now, people, because together we will stand. Every person, every color, every land. Because together we will stand. Every person, every color, every land.
We are standing. Yes. Did I hit the button right? Am I on now? There we go. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Are we standing? Ah, wow. So I have a quick question. Did anyone pay attention to what the title was for today? Oh, Norm did. Of course he did. What is it?
Micro and macro.
Micro versus macro. You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like a wrestling match. And now, micro versus macro. Ah. So I thought about this whole idea, and it's thank you for your reading. It was very, very interesting. I particularly like the part about let's just take everybody out if we're not sure which one, and let God sort it out later. Um, that was a little rough there, and yet how did it sound that unfamiliar? No, it didn't, did it? No, not really. There's a lot of that sense sometimes where we just decide to just do something across the board and not worry about, let's do the thing that's most expedient and not have to figure it out. Well, this idea of micro versus macro, I've been thinking about it, and there's so many ways to look at it, because we have this idea that there is the large universe, the everything out there, the macrocosm, and that each one of us is somehow a reflection of that large thing, that all of the energy and power of the universe exists right where I am. Therefore, I am just a smaller version, if you will, of the larger. But it's all right here. And that's a really powerful way to look at things, particularly when you think about how do we deal with discomfort and anger and stuff in the world that isn't okay. How do we deal with that if we don't start with ourselves? Because that's where it's got to start. If I am the microcosm of the macrocosm, then what I change here affects what happens out here. The other way that I think we somehow get caught up in it is when we look at we see what's going on, and somebody says something to us, or we're in a situation, and we only can see it this way. We only see it based on on our own limited experience, on our own personal biases, through our own personal prism. That's all we see. And so the macrocosm seems to get a little lost because I'm so caught up in the micro. I'm so caught up in what's me, what's right here, what's in front of me. And I lose out on the bigger picture. And it's that bigger picture that allows us to talk about the things like we talked about last week, and that is really belonging, really inviting others to belong, really being a part together, being a part of things together. It's that wide angle that allows us to move in. So sometimes the danger is that we see all of it from this narrow point of view. And how could we see it from any other view? How can we see beyond the narrow experience that we have? And I think the only way we can do that is to truly realize that we have a narrow experience and to open ourselves up to hear and listen and observe what other experience might be. What else is there? What do other people experience? What do other situations bring up? And if we can't see that, if we can't open ourselves to that, then we're stuck in our microcosm, in our little spot. And yet we are called to the larger if we're really going to look at serving our world, serving each other. If we're going to really free ourselves, we have to do that. How often do we decide that someone else is doing something to us. Kingdom 1. Yes, somebody's doing something to us. My wife reminds me of this when I am driving on the roadways of America, and I say, "What the heck are they thinking over there?" And she said, "They're not thinking about you at all. They don't really care. In fact, they don't know you're there." And I'm like, "Well, they should." that idea that that someone else must be pointing this at me. They must be, otherwise, why would they do it? And I have no idea why they do it. There's so many reasons why each of us does things. We have no idea where someone else is coming from. We have no idea what else is happening in their minds, in their bodies, in their experience, in their histories, in their childhood. We have none of that information. None of it. So we don't know. So if I get focused in here, then I end up being angry and frustrated, and I don't like people, and I'm mad at the world, and I think God's pretty silly too. That's what happens when we're stuck in that space. And dare I say, we find ourselves struggling with bodily disease. We find ourselves struggling with stress. We find ourselves crawling around the house with our backs all tightened up because we can't stand up. And I say all of those things from personal experience. That, the pain of the feeling of being oppressed or allowing that to come in and pretend that it's all about me is overwhelming. It's overwhelming, and I can't function well. And so now I've taken this incredible, expansive possibilities of the world, and I've shut them all off. And now I'm in here. I'm stuck. So we have to move beyond that somehow. And that is, I believe, taking the opportunity to step back, to look at something wider, to stop and go, okay, wait a minute. Is this really about me? I think one of the gifts of getting older, and some of you may know this or may agree with me or may not, but for me, one of the gifts of getting older is I realize how much I don't know. There was a time, and I remember this. I first went to high school, and I had a teacher who said, okay, so for you sophomores, here's the deal. If you have any questions, ask a senior, because they know everything. Right? Now, and when I got to be a senior, I knew everything too. So it worked out pretty well. But, when you're younger, you don't even realize what you don't know. And it's like the more I know, the more I realize there's more to know. The more I go, oh my gosh, that was nowhere in my experience. This person has just shared with me something that I would have never thought of. And so how could I have any empathy? How could I have any sense of understanding where they were coming from if I had no idea? But as we learn that we know less, if you will, we can be open to the possibility that there's something there we don't know. There's something coming forth that we don't understand. And so rather than staying stuck in the space of looking in, I can open up to looking out. And that opening up allows me to let go of all of my angst, let go of my feelings of being wronged, of not being understood, of whatever it is. Clearly, they could not understand me just as much as I don't understand them. We can be in that boat. But what we can understand is that somewhere in the big picture, we're all a reflection of the larger. We're all coming from a space of expressing this universal principle, expressing this principle of love, this principle of joy, this principle of light, and that the light, just like in Scripture, may be covered up by a bushel, but it's there. And if I can acknowledge that it's there and hold the space for it being there, maybe I'll start to see it. Maybe the other person can start to express it. If I can allow them to be the micro space of the macro instead of just the micro space, but to really be a microcosm of the macrocosm, then I can see something much larger in those people I'm working with, those people I'm dealing with. So our community has the opportunity to hold one another in that vision of it's larger than any one of us, and that each one of us carries that breadth, that largeness, that expansiveness. And it's okay not to know everything. It's okay to encounter situations that we go, I do not understand this. I do not know what this is about. I'm not clear. That's okay. That's okay. And it's okay to have that moment where we go, why are they doing that to me? And then to back up and say, okay, that was a little overstated. Maybe there's something else here. Maybe I don't have to have it that way. Maybe I have just the opportunity to see someone else expressing to the best of their ability. Is that Miguelito who's not very happy? I have never heard that child so not happy. He's having a rough morning. Goodness. If those of you who may not hear, he's crying in the other room. So we have heard the term as above, so below. So that speaks to that mirror relationship, right? As above, so below. But perhaps a way to look at that is that everything is a microcosm of the macrocosm. And we see patterns reproduced at all levels, reproduced in ourselves that reflect the larger picture. And so if the larger picture is not pleasing us, we may need to look at what are the patterns that are coming forth from us. Because as those reflect more widely out into the larger picture, I believe it will shift. It will shift who we are and what happens. So why do we come together here every week? Why do we come together and study and have classes together and all of that? Some people say, well, it's awfully self-centered. All you talk about is how do we make yourself better? How can I get more prosperity? How can I become better at this or that? And the truth is, if we don't look inside, we can't support the outside. It's here that it all starts, right here. And so this is the place where we get to start. So I invite you to do that. I think most of us have started that, but there's lots of opportunities to continue to look in and to grow. And we will be offering more and more opportunities here of things for people to do, to do that. And we have some now, right? We have classes and workshops and gatherings and parties and all kinds of things that give us a chance to see into ourselves in a new way. And so I just invite us to continue to explore those. As they call to you, say, oh, maybe there's a reason it calls to me. And it's okay for me to take a little time to focus, because every time I focus here, I expand what's out there. So I'm just going to take us into a moment of prayer around this idea of the macro and the micro. I'm going to invite any practitioners or any ministers that would like to stand just to hold the space, just to remind us that Spirit is constantly surrounding us. That in fact, that is the picture of the macro, the wider circle. So we take this moment just to be grateful for this opportunity to be reminded of who we are. This opportunity to know the truth that each and everything that we find to be unpleasing, if you will, outside of ourselves, or what appears to be outside of ourselves, simply is pointing to the place within us that we can open up, that we can learn, that we can release, that we can embrace. So we embrace those things within us. We embrace those places that don't feel as comfortable, and we honor them, and we respect them, and we love them. And we release those things we no longer need. We simply allow them to dissipate. We loosen our grip. We hold on much less tightly to what we think we know. And we open ourselves, and we open our hands, we open our bodies symbolically to what is possible, to what is beyond our current depth of knowing, at least on the physical plane. And yet to know that behind all of that is the knowing that's much larger. Within us is the capacity to know on that level of the universal, of the macrocosm. So we open ourselves to this truth. And it's from that space that we bless each one who walks, who struggles with any kind of physical or any kind of experience that is negative in their lives right now. For we know that beyond that experience, beyond that, is something much larger. And so we see each one for who they are, which is a divine expression of Spirit, a perfect expression of the One, of the light. And we allow each individual in our lives, each individual we see, to be the light. And so I give thanks for this opportunity to stand in this truth, to know this truth, and to be held by others who know this. And so I simply release this word and say, and so it is. Thank you. So it's been an exciting week of thinking about things. And so again, we come to that point in our service where we get to share our treasure, and yet it's not all about our treasure. Our treasure is embedded in our time and our talent and who we are. And so I just invite us to honor what we share with one another, to honor that time, that gift of those areas that you are gifted in, that you share with others. Just honor that sharing. And then to take this moment also to share from what we've created in our abundance, or what's come forth to us through that work, through that time, through that effort that we put out into the world. And we know that as we share it together here, we open up the space for this community to continue to reach out, to continue to move into being that place of a powerful entity in the community. So let us just speak together this blessing, this reminder of who we are, reminding ourselves that I am abundant. I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings are as abundant as the stars, and so I give generously. So it is. There are multiple ways. I'll be scrolling across the screen for those of you who are at home who may want to offer something. And those are all available to all of us here. In addition to, if you'd like to bring something forward and put it in the basket, that would be great. So thank you.
There's so much good that we can do. It starts when I reach out to you. When two or more agree, it shall be done. We're never alone, we are one. One mind, one heart. That's who we really are. Blessing this world because we believe we are one mind, one heart. You and me. Can I count on you to help me out? Let go of feeling any kind of doubt. You know love is the answer, love is the way. Let us know the truth for each other today. We are one mind, one heart. That's who we really are. Blessing this world because we believe we're one mind, one heart. You and me. Can you see what love is calling us to be? One mind, one heart, that's who we really are. Blessing this world because we believe we are one mind, one heart, you and me. One mind, we have one heart, that's who we really are. Blessing this world because we believe we are one mind, one heart, one mind, one heart, one mind, one heart. You and me, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine for everybody in the world to see. Won't hide it anymore. I have so much inside that I want you to know about me. Oh, this little light of mine, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Let your soul shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let shine. This little light combined with your light makes a much brighter flame. We can remember from what goodness we did. This little light, I'm gonna let it shine, shine. I'm gonna let it shine, shine, shine. Come on, let's all let our lights shine.
Shine, shine, shine. Shine, shine. So we just recognize that the gifts that we bring are a reflection of the gifts that are given. That the universe is so abundant, and that as we recognize that abundance, we are creating even more of it. So we just give thanks for all of the love, all of the gifts, all of the service that people give here at Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. For it allows this community to step into that space of the macro. And so for that, I am grateful and I give thanks. So it is. Now, I want to remind everyone that there are opportunities in our prayer garden over here. We have practitioners present, and they're more than willing to pray with you. In fact, it's a gift to them. If you come and pray with them, you'll be helping them out. So stop by. Anything is fine. It's just an opportunity to have someone speak a word to acknowledge what's going on in our lives, to bless what's going on, to uplift us, to help us change perspective, whatever it is. So take a moment, stop in. Other ways to receive prayer exist, and those are by filling out a form, which I believe we have in the chairs and also in the back, and the practitioners will check those out. Online, you can go on and fill out a form online, and we will just hold that concern, that joy, that excitement that you're sharing, and lift it up. And so please do that. So I wanted to highlight a couple of things. We have some stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks that's going to be kind of fun. Next week is a very special service. So I want you all to be here, whether you're online or you're here. I want you to show up. I have no idea what's going to happen. Which is probably good, because it's going to be mostly music. And if I had too much idea what was going on, that would probably spoil it. But Reverend Kamatara and Yvette Trujillo will be leading that. Susan is supporting them. And the idea is the music is the message. So I'm excited. They were excited to play in this arena. So we're just going to have some fun, see what happens. Okay? And if you can believe it, this season of light is so rapidly moving that we are almost up to that time of year when we hit Christmas Eve. And so we'll be doing a celebration of light on Christmas Eve here at 7 o'clock. So, and we'll be online as well. So if you can just note that in your calendars. And we are actually looking at a plan to have a vision board party on or a workshop on the New Year's Eve day. There we go, I'll get it right. Saturday, New Year's Eve day. And all of that also means that for those of you who just don't know what to do with yourselves, that Sundays occur on both Christmas Day and New Year's Day this year. So you're all welcome here. So there you go. Please, yeah, bring cookies, bring yourself, bring families if you want. Send your families, you stay home. Whatever works for you is great. That may be the better break right there. So, without any further ado, I'm going to invite forward our announcer. Wait, look at that. What happened? There, here it comes. Who are you? You're not the announcer. They're throwing rocks at me. What's going on? Okay, Mark's here. He'll take it from here.
Yeah, I'm the chair of the board of trustees, your boss.
Oh,
So
is that what? Oh,
that was a Norm joke. He put me up to saying that. So very quickly, as Reverend Gill said, there's a lot of new things coming on. We're not doing our traditional pledge campaign this year. Reverend Gill's brought a brand new idea and brand new model for us, and we'll be sharing it with you tomorrow night here at the church. There's 5 of us who are meeting, and we're working on that vision and bringing that there. So we want you to be aware that we haven't forgotten we need to sustain our place, but we're going to do it in a little more comprehensive and flow with spirit type of way. So we're looking forward to that. Secondly, is that you guys have been amazing on the Michelle's Giving Tree. And matter of fact, you were so generous, I had to call the school and I said, could you go around and ask the teachers if there's something they need? And so we're getting that list tomorrow. And after service today, there's a couple people who are a part of the team here. We have to take pictures of every little gift we have, but it won't take that long. We're going to go back and do that. And then I think on Wednesday night, if some of us are available, we're going on a shopping spree. And we'll fill in the gifts you didn't get. And we're also going to be buying supplies for the teachers. And we're going to the school to actually meet a number of the people. And we'll be delivering the presents in person. So finally, next Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Now, a lot of you are bringing presents already wrapped. Thank you. But those that aren't wrapped, and there's a lot that need to be wrapped, next Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, we'll be here. We're going to wrap all those presents and get them organized and get them ready to go out to everybody. So we want to invite you and come and join us, and we'll have some festive cheer together. So now, I bring you Norm.
Hey, good morning. Okay, thank you, Reverend Gill. Loved your macro-micro concept this morning. And I remember last night I was asking you if you need some more fuel for your message, you could just mention my name. And sure enough, he did. Twice. Wow, I got it 2 times. Woo, thank you. Susan, I just love your authentic, passionate music. So glad that you're here. We stand with Ukraine for peace, independence, love, and abundance. And if you notice, President Zelensky, I believe, was mentioned as the Man of the Year for Time magazine. This guy's a true hero, man. So let's continue to support Ukraine. Okay, there's a board meeting coming up. It's going to be on Tuesday at 5:30 to 7. And they're looking for a couple of new board members. So if you know of anybody that would love to serve, and service is what this is all about. So if you'd like to serve on the board, they're looking for a couple board members. Carol Helms is finishing up her 4-year term, so she's going to be leaving. So if you have any interest in that, just show up at the board meeting and check it out, see what it's like. Okay, there's going to be a creative expression and writing group that meets today right after this service at noon in one of the rooms back there. So if you have an interest in creative expression and writing, be sure you check that out. Hey, yesterday Barb and I went over to Costco. We got some free COVID tests. There are free COVID tests out there. If you go to the newsletter, it tells you where you can get free COVID tests. If you have insurance, if you don't have insurance, or whatever, some of the pharmacies are giving them away. So that was in the newsletter. So check the link out and stay on top of it. It's going around. I've had more people tell me they've had COVID this time around than last year. And we're wearing our masks because we're doing prevention, because we've got people coming in from out of town over the holidays. So we want to make sure we don't pick it up and give it to them so they take it back. So, okay, Reverend Gill did mention the calendar. So I just remind you again that on Christmas Eve, it's going to be a sing-along. Now, they're not going to be singing Saturday Night. Saturday night. They're going to be singing, Christmas music. So even though it is on Saturday night, and of course the service will have a service on Sunday and Christmas Day, and then there's going to be prayer for world peace on the 1st of January at 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, okay. Whew. Man. All right. Thanks for the correction. 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Did I get that right? Okay, Compassion Ministries. Always love the information that Chaplain Carmela Herrera puts in there. And this week she has a really neat list of things from Deepak Chopra sharing 5 ways to cultivate more joy in your life. And real quickly, there are: 1, find ways to be of service. That's 1. 2, practice gratitude. 3, live your truth. 4, who is in your front row? And 5, you got to go to the newsletter to get the 5th one. So why not set up some and develop some deep bonds right here within this organization here and make it work? Okay, recurring events, Course in Miracles, Nancy Bauer, that's from 6 to 7:30, Thursday Zoom. And just as a reminder to what you said, one thing I learned from A Course in Miracles is how to see things differently, the macro. So it's a powerful, powerful thing. The board meeting I already mentioned. Food Addicts in Recovery Anonymous, in person and on Zoom, Saturdays from 8:30 to 10 right here at RGCSL. Live from New Mexico, Sunday morning announcements.
And I'm doing the closing, so that's what I'm up here. So if you'll all just bring your consciousness here if it's gone anyplace else for a minute, and let's be grateful for all that we have, for all that we have been brought today, for all that we have been given, and for all that we have given. And as Reverend Gill reminded us, we are the light. We go out, and this music has really reminded us, we are the light. We are bringing the light out into the world, and other people that we meet are the light too. And so it's that light of spirit that joins us in oneness. So when we see another, we bring them our light, we see their light, and we know that we are one. And at this time of new birth that we anticipate, at this time of new light that soon will be here with the solstice, we know that all is well, and we know that we are blessed. So I bless everyone. I thank everyone involved in this wonderful service today. I thank everyone at home who's been here giving their energy to us too. And so with feelings of gratitude and love, please say with me, and so it is. Amen. And Susan has some music now.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Marilyn. Everybody's lucky. So I'm going to do a song by a good friend of mine, Robin Hackett, and Gary Lynn Floyd. I kind of planned this for a sing-along, but I'm not sure that's really going to happen. But stand up if you feel like it anyway. This is called One Big Family. And I say that because the first line is, everybody get up on your feet. Okay? And you'll catch some of the words, I think. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody we meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody we meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to song. I think you can get that. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We all love, we all one big family. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Have a good day. Happy Sunday.